tell us who you are and your background in games development?
Okay, my name is Lih-Hern and I'm a computer games programmer. Previously, I've been working in John Galt Games as an engine programmer, and right now I'm starting my own company with my friend, an artist. We started up this company called Liquid Rock Games, and Liquid Rock Games is a company where we start to make AAA titles. And our first game is Aftershock racing game, which is what you see here.
Okay, Lih-Hern, as a games programmer, what would you say one need to do to be a game programmer?
Okay, to be a game programmer, I would say this is what I do. When I was studying as a student in MMU, I actually took extra time off to actually work on my own project on my own free time. So basically, it's a lot to do with research, making full use of the internet resources, and asking questions in forum and figure out how things are done. And also, what I do was that I try to play as many games as possible and try and figure out how it works and try to decipher out exactly how things work and try to do it myself.
So you mentioned that you actually studied games to figure out how to program them. Can you give us some examples?
Okay, for example, if you look at Aftershock itself, we actually have a very robust shadowing system. And this shadowing system itself is what we call a parallel split map shadow mapping system. And this actually you can find it through Assassin's Creed. That's where actually I figure out how things work. So that's one way of doing it. And another part is like, for example, the details in the material system on our game. We actually had what we call a detail map, what we call a detailed normal map system. And this itself, you can actually find it from Gears of War. That's where we actually got all the ideas from. So this is how I actually deciphered based on games, trying to figure out how it actually works and put it back together by my own coding. Yeah.
Right, thank you. So the good part is when you start talking about technology, you suddenly went on to the sideways ramp. It's really cool. Lih-Hern, since you use open source technologies inside your game, can you tell us, in your opinion, what are the open source technologies you believe a game developer should know about?
Okay, the most important thing is that we have to split into two groups. The first one is the engine, and the second one is the tools. The engine side of things, there are Augur and Ulich, and a few Crystal Space too. So basically, these three engines are already in a very stabilized stage where they can actually use for commercial projects. What we are using here is Augur 3D, and we actually, other than Augur 3D itself, we actually also extended into using eNet for our network engine, and also OIS for input system. So all these are open source technologies that we are using in terms of the technologies engine side of things. And for the tool side of things, what we are using is actually like Blender and GIMP. Blender is a replacement for 3D Studio Max and Maya, whereas GIMP is a replacement for Photoshop. Something that we have found out that these open source tools are actually already in line or on par with the commercial tools product that actually already allow us to produce such quality.
Okay, Lih-Hern, I'm curious, you decided to go down the path of doing open source game development. What made you decide that?
The most important thing is budget. Budget is one of the issues whenever we want to do as a startup. The thing is that we cannot just easily get huge amount of funding like 1 million to 2 million to actually start up. So what we are doing is garage style development. And when you do garage style development, you have to make do with whatever you have. And open source is a good opportunity because it's free and you can use it for commercial products. And right now is the right time, which we found that it's exactly right just at the niche market where open source is already in a commercial stage, where you can actually use it for high quality commercial products. And this is why we actually took opportunity of that and actually try to use open source as our way out into things.